ever been asked the most questioned thing of all time? That is God real? Now I know this is a very sensitive topic and everyone has experienced God in their own way, if not any. So in this video, I'm going to explain with 7 facts why I believe God is real. Stay tuned. So before I get started, I know I was supposed to post this video ages ago. Unfortunately, my house had a bit of maintenance. As you can see, the background's going to change. Enjoy the rest of the video. The Bible predicted 250 years of Earth's history, dating back from 6th century BC. Now you're probably on the edge of your seat waiting for me to tell you. Well, that was the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. So, backstory time. King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream that could not allow him to sleep. So he went and he asked all his wise men if they could tell him his dream and what it meant. But they were like, yo man, are you crazy? There's no ways I can tell you that. There's no man on this earth that could tell you. Then he was like, okay, well, there's no point of you being, and executed them. Then he came across Daniel, a man of God. And he was like, man, Daniel's like, yo, whoa, let me go talk to my G, my Father God in heaven. And he's like, okay, so be it. And he went and he prayed and he came back. And he's like, I got what you need. Alright, back to 250 years of Earth's predictions. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. The dream was of an image standing upon the earth. The image had a head of gold, arms and chest of silver. From his torso to his knees, it was bronze. From his knees to his ankles, it was iron. And his feet was part clay and part iron. But then a rock that was not cut off from man came and struck the feet of the image and destroyed the whole image. The rock that struck the image became a mountain and covered the whole earth. Now, that is the dream. And now I'm going to tell you what it means. The head of gold represented no one other but Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the Babylons. He ruled from 606 to 534 BC. Now, gold represented Babylon to the T because they were rich in splendor. Then was overtaken by the next world power, the arms and chest made from silver. This was Cyrus II. He was the king of Medo-Persia. Now silver was a great representation for the Medo-Persian, for they used silver to trade and were inferior to Nebuchadnezzar. Then was overtaken by the bronze torso down to the knees, which is Alexander the Great, king of Greece. They ruled from 331 to 168 BC. Then was overtaken by the next world power, which was the knees to the ankles made from iron. This was a representation of Rome. As many may know, Rome was known as the Iron Monarchy, crushing all the empires before and after. The Bible states it the best in Daniel 4:240. Following that kingdom, there will be the 4th one, as strong as iron. That kingdom will smash and crush all previous empires, just as iron smashes and crushes everything it strikes. Now that leaves us with the part clay and part iron feet. Rome was never defeated, but was divided into many sections, as we may know now as modern day Europe. As it says in Daniel 2:41 to 43, that people will try and unite Europe, but will fail. So it's a marriage, but they will not unite. Many people try to unite Europe, like Charlemagne tried to unite Europe, but failed. Napoleon failed. And Hitler, even though he had a dominance of Europe at one stage, he also failed. Now, that doesn't leave us to the end of the image. Remember the rock that came and smashed the image and then turned into a mountain and covered the earth? Now, 90% of what was prophesied in the Bible has occurred. There's only that one part, that 10%. I'm going to leave that with you and you decide. Because it hasn't happened yet, but it must still happen. Before 1845, women that gave birth in a hospital had a 40% chance of surviving. For the doctors would examine a woman and move on to the next without washing their hands, for they never knew of microscopic viruses at the time. In Leviticus 15, verse 14, it states when one is unclean, they must wash themselves under running water. 2% of women started dying after Angus Semmelweis insisted that doctors would wash their hands in a bucket of water. Now, only if they knew and read the Bible before, imagine how many more people would have survived. As we know nowadays, doctors wash their hands under running water. By examining one's blood, we can tell if one has health issues such as diabetes, cancer, coronary heart disease. We can tell the condition of the heart, the thyroid kidney, the liver. Up to 120 years ago, people would do this practice called bloodletting, and that is when a portion of your blood is drained from your body. Many died from this practice. Now, they thought this would heal them, like George Washington even tried it, but it didn't work because he later died. Before 1000 year BC, it states in the Bible that the life is in the blood. And nowadays we know that if someone is sick, we give them blood. Imagine how many lives would be saved if they just read the Bible earlier. Now this place is being debunked of ever being a place of settlement, but I'm going to allow you to decide. This is a ghost town in Israel, covered in ash, brimstone, and sulfur. But not the normal sulfur you would find, but the purest kind of sulfur. People will say from a volcano, but a volcano was nowhere close to Sodom and Gomorrah, and it doesn't make this kind of sulfur found in Sodom and Gomorrah. In fact, there is nowhere in the world that you can find the kind of sulfur found in Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah is full of petrified material, which you can break with ease. It has swirly designs all around the rocks, which is called thermal ionization, where atoms contract and repel. This occurs when temperatures are over 3,331 degrees Celsius. The outcome, you can find melted stairs and collapsed roofs. Where did the brimstone come from, or how did it get there, or why? Well, in Genesis chapter 19, verse 24 to 25, God said his anger arose and he let the fire and sulfur rain down from the heaven upon the land. Yes, that is brutal. I agree with you, but equally as true. The bees need some molecules, a cohesion molecule, like the glue in your body. Without this, you'd fall apart. Like literally. I'm not saying like emotionally. I'm saying like you literally fall apart. Now, a protein organizes these molecules in a certain shape, which causes its function. A perfect geometric shape of who Christ is. In Colossians 1 chapter 1, verse 17, let's get excited here, it says, all things he came before, and all things he is in. Now, there's no translation that will give you that, but it's basically what I'm saying. My own translation. I didn't quote it. But that is it. I don't know, I just really like how it's perfectly shaped and it's a very important cell. Backstory time. In Exodus, Israelites were running away from the Egyptians, but God wanted his people back. So he sent Moses to escort them away. So now here comes the mind-blowing factor. If you haven't been blown away already, now you will. So they were in between the Red Sea and 600 of Pharaoh's men on chariots. So this is when God flexed his mighty power and split the Red Sea in two, allowing his people to cross and enough time for Pharaoh's soldiers to get obliterated. Which brings us to our peculiar shaped coral in Nueva's beach, full of 90-degree angles and circles and funny shapes. The most famous of them all is the tabletop coral, with an axis and two circles, almost like for a chariot. One would say that the coral found from north to south of Aqaba is different. The size, it's bigger, like for a reef. In the Waves Beach, it's small and scattered. Now let's just say there was no remains and it was nothing at all. Let's just say there was washed away or the chariots floated. The Red Sea is 225 kilometers long, full of trenches. It would be impossible for someone to cross unless there was a perfect path, nice and shallow, with nice silty sand at the bottom, exactly where the ruins is. Only one place to cross, and every else trench in deep darkness. Like, it was perfect. Like for a brisk walk, a jog. I'd be sprinting, I don't know about you guys. I mean, first of all, there's a wall of water on each side of you, and if that's not enough, there's also Egyptians coming to kill you. So, it's quite significant to have nice and soft sand for you to cross, and not like rock climbing style. Several religions and powerful people deny that Jesus ever died on the cross, because if he didn't, then Christianity would be fake and the Bible would be a lie, because it predicts the death of Jesus and it also records it, which means, you could just, love what you want, YOLO. But, a very big but. I mean, who doesn't like big buts? Especially in this case, because there are two occasions where it records the death of Jesus outside the Bible. One is the Greek satirist Lucian of Samosata, which mocked the Christians for following their crucified lawgiver. And Roman Cornelius Tacitus, a respected historian, known for not liking the Jews and the Christians. He wrote that he blames the great fire in Rome on Christos, the one that Pilate crucified. Now, why would people deny that Jesus died on the cross? Something so significant in who God really is. Well, if it was fake, like I said. But again, on a real note, why is this such a thing to deny? It's almost like something so much more powerful than we actually know is trying to manipulate the truth. Making the sperm whale look like a snack, because it really was. It had teeth perfectly formatted for the hunt, terrorizing any creature in its surveillance. The megalodon may be its greatest threat, but wait until you hear what this Leviathan is made of. The colossal creature, double coat of armor, scales so tight that not even air can pass through them. No sword, spear, javelin can penetrate it. Its heart is made of rock. Iron is merely a straw to it. Flames stream from its mouth. You think it's a dragon, the ones that terrorized the soldiers with the swords back in the day? Well, I'm glad it isn't, because we'd all be dead. This thing sounds indestructible. I'm glad it's under the water with great pressure, keeping it down. But yeah, on the real note, it was discovered in Peru, which was an ocean, but now is a desert. And if you're trying to look for fossils, it's a perfect place to go find. It's like fossil deluxe. So that rounds it off, all the evidence I have brought to your attention. But there's always two sides to the case. Lawyers allow people to get away with murder. Although the Israelites saw all those amazing miracles, they still decided to follow their own desires. It's a step in faith. Will you accept Jesus Christ into your life? Do you believe in God? Thank you for watching, guys. You are awesome and loved. Feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and the bell icon. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to see you guys soon. Cheers.